Hi, I'm Queenie Yu from Bullet Point News. I'm with Brian Reynolds, a Stouffville resident since 2008. He has a small business, Learn to Appreciate, where he facilitates the 5 languages of appreciation in the workplace. Over the last 8 years, Brian has led or co led the Coldest Night of the Year campaign for 2 different organizations. This is his third year as event director for CNOY for City Street Outreach. Brian, welcome to Bullet Point News.
Thank you, Queenie. Morning.
Good morning, Brian. What's the Coldest Night of the Year campaign?
So the Coldest Night of the Year campaign is actually started 11 years ago, and it's to raise awareness and funds for homelessness, people that are hurting, hungry, displaced, and so on. So the event itself brings people together right across Canada and actually into the U.S. now, and it just brings everyone together for a common cause to raise funds and awareness for what I just mentioned.
You've been a volunteer for City Street Outreach for 7 years. What would you say is most rewarding?
It's actually interacting, engaging with people on the street, from the shelters, low-income housing, our wonderful volunteer team, because we have about 50, 60 volunteers. And some of them were actually on the street and become volunteers now. I just really enjoy the interaction with getting to know people that could be you or I in a situation during our life that something's happened. And it's just a great opportunity to lean into these people and to offer practical assistance and also some spiritual assistance, which make their life a little easier, offering them some hope.
Could you tell us about someone who has been helped by the funds raised for the campaign?
Actually, there's quite a few actually, and again, we started the outreach was started basically downtown Toronto, outside City Hall, for about 13 years now, but it has grown across the GTA and right here in local Stouffville and surrounding area as well. We partner with a lot of organizations also that do outreaches. But there are a couple of people that were in very, very poor situations, um, ready to be on the street. And we were able to, lean down and get down with them and to offer assistance, some practical assistance, and to help them transition into a better situation for themselves. So, and there are a number of people which I can't mention by name, but they're out there and they're pretty close to where we are, and some are again on the outskirts and across the GTA, and they're wonderful people. You wouldn't know who they are if they're right in front of you. You wouldn't know if that there is any ongoing issues, to be quite honest, because they're just like you and I. Once they've been giving a hand up, like a helping hand, their lives have turned around, and it makes a difference.
In past years, are there some walkers or teams that have stood out for you?
Actually, there are a few teams that have really gotten behind this event. We have about 23 teams signed up right now for the Stouffville event, and interestingly, that's actually down, and it's just a little off our goal for this year, but the amount of walkers is skyrocketing as of yesterday. But there are a few teams that are really pushing. These are some friends down in Markham, but there's also what we found this year. There's some corporate teams that have really thrown their hat into the ring. I can think of Pace Credit Union, the RBC Bank, trying to do real estate here in town. But there's a lot of individual teams that have really stepped up and really said, you know what, I want to make a difference also. So we're very, very humbled and grateful for a lot of corporations that just want to get behind this amazing cause.
So the walk is going to be on February 25th. Can you tell us about that day?
Yeah, so that's tomorrow, and we've been working on this since October. And the one variable that you can't really plan for is the weather, but we got the storm out of the way yesterday, and it looks like the roads and the sidewalks are going to be good for walking. So tomorrow we start registration about 4 o'clock. People already registered online and can still register online, and then we have a check-in process at 4 o'clock, and then we gather a little bit there to meet and greet people, and also then about 5 o'clock we have a little bit of a send-off. Everyone starts walking along either the 2 kilometer route or the 5 kilometer route, and come back to the venue down at the church, Stouffville Pentecostal Church on Hoover and Sandiford, and then we're gonna have a light meal there. We got an amazing food truck, and everyone's welcome to join us there. And then a little send off again, and then we're on our way. But we're looking forward. It's supposed to be not too cold. Certainly not going to be not too warm. But the thing about it being about -5, -6, and maybe a few flurries I see, it might give some people the realization what it is for a lot of people sleeping on the streets, which is 24 hours a day. So, we're looking for a fun day, an eventful day, a nice family gathering. And we're very, very encouraged right now for the amount of people that are signed up and ready to go tomorrow.
When people do the walk, are there certain reflections that come from walking in the cold?
Oh, absolutely. Again, we find that not just through our bank of volunteers, but there's a lot of people that are quite aware of what City Street Outreach is doing because we've partnered with many organizations and they deep down know the foundational cause, why we're doing this. And it's nothing about us. It's all about helping our neighbors. And a lot of people tend to reflect, and when I speak with people along the route, or as they're leaving in the past few years, they really get it. They go, some get very emotional, and it's like, wow, just think of the people that are out there like hurting in our own community or surrounding community, and if we can just give back just a one iota, it makes a difference. So they're really genuinely engaged with this cause, and it does make a difference.
Brian, what is the reaction of people who are on the street towards your visits?
Actually, we have a lot of what we call friends on the street that come from the shelters or are permanently on the street displaced. But many times, like I say, when we open up the tarp sometimes to their little tent, sleeping on the corner over a vent, their smiles just radiate, and they go, "Wow, good to see you again." And most of them we know by name, and so we spend time with them. What do you need today, Fred? I'm not using the right name, Fred, but what do you need today, Fred or Shelley? What do you need? And so we give them what they need. And to be honest, they don't ask for much. They just say, "Oh, I'm okay. Just I'll just take that for today." And they look at us as family right now. We're building relationships. We're leaning into their lives, which is very different than what a lot of people are generous with their money and so on. That say, here you go, here you go. But it's more than that. It's the dignity, and it's just building relationships with these individuals that we care and we hope, and we quite often have a prayer time with them. It really lifts their spirits, and it makes a huge difference from life or death for some of them.
You know, you mentioned earlier that when volunteers are doing this walk, they reflect on, how some people are on the street in the cold. Can you tell us a bit more about those reflections?
Yeah, again, a lot of our walkers and volunteers, there's a lot of warmth that overflows from the cold, and they really think, "Wow, that could be me." And some of them are just one step away from being on the street, to be quite honest. So they see the need, and we gather, and then we want to do something about it. It's just not lip service. It's actually doing something about it. And this is the practical way that we can do something is to walk to show our strength in numbers, but also, to donate, obviously. But the reflection for people is like, wow, like this is the true meaning about what it means to love your neighbor. And it does make a difference because we're all human beings and we all have needs through our life, whether it be emotional or spiritual or physical needs. And a lot of people reflect on that and say, yeah, I do want to help. I do want to make a difference. And interesting enough, after the walk, we get a lot of people interested in volunteering, which is great because we need more and more people so that we can make more of an impact. And that's what this fundraiser is about, is to help us have funds to keep our vehicles on the road and to do more work.
Again, specifically, how are these people helped? Are they given money? Are they put into programs that teach them life skills?
No, so we don't actually give them money, but we do food rescue and clothes rescues quite often throughout the week. So we'll give them the practical needs of having food on their table or food in their tent, um, but also keeping them warm during the winter, giving them some clean clothes during the summer months. As you can appreciate, it's a mess out there trying to live in a sometimes in a shelter or on the street, and your clothes get soiled. There's just they don't have the basic human needs. A lot of these people, which are our friends, and so we try to help them with the practical needs like food, of course, the clothing, and then many times we're in a situation where we get donations from a lot of great organizations that will give us mattresses and box springs. They'll give us small appliances, but we do what we call fill the truck events quite often in the summer. So a lot of people donate gently used clothing or gently used appliances, and then we will seek out because we have a great network of people that are interested in helping. So look, I've got a toaster, I've got a blender. Oh yeah, we've got a family over here that's just come from the Ukraine, for instance. We can bless them with setting up an apartment. There's actually a few people that we have directly helped from the street into transition into their own apartments now, and you look at the faces. It's worth $1 million just that they have their own place now. It's a long waiting list, of course, but if we can, help them along and walk with them during that process to offer them hope and say, hey, let's not give up. We're in it together. We're going to help you. So there's the practical needs part of it, like I said, and it's not always about the money. Sometimes, yeah, if people are stuck and they don't have food and they got two kids, we will give them a gift certificate, like a gift card to help them out. It's not a regular thing, like we don't pay, for rents and so on like that. Honestly, between you and I, if it's in a total emergency, of course, we're not going to turn around and say, sorry, we're not going to help you. Where the need is, we're gonna do our best to augment, the other organizations as well. But if we can step up and offer that, it's all part of building the relationship and just to show that somebody cares about them and that there's hope and they can move forward.
Brian, thank you so much for joining us at Bullet Point News today.
Thank you, Queenie. Have a great day.
You too. Enjoy the walk tomorrow.